Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are coming to you live with another sort of weekly sometime podcast sponsored by Gray Fox Games. I've given up on saying the day of release.
The episode comes out before the next one should have come out.
Yes.
Usually.
I mean, it's just one of those things. The more you comment on it, the worse it gets. So I don't know what to tell you.
Doesn't sound like our fault.
Yeah, that does not sound like an us problem.
Well, it's not a me problem, apparently. So
right on. So this is a board gaming podcast, ostensibly. And in fact, last week, you guys both had board games to talk about, and I had D&D. So we all three had something kind of to talk about. This week, I actually have a board game to talk about. I played a board game.
Wow.
So I'll go ahead and dive in here at the start and talk about my game of Trickerion after I cough and die. So I played.
Thank you,
this past
Undead
week.
Adrian, for continuing the story.
You're welcome. Undead Adrian is nothing if not considerate. So I played Trickerion last Wednesday with Boyd and Jeremy from the Slack and Jeremy's buddy Keegan, who's also in the Slack. But the three of them and myself decided to play some Trickerion. So we got together at I want to say it was 10:30 Eastern, 8:30 Mountain.
the expansion.
We played with the Dark Alley sort of expansion included in the base game expansion.
Module, some would say.
Really more of an advanced, variant, advanced module kind of a thing. We played with that. We didn't play with any of the other actual expansions that I think do exist.
Yes.
So yeah, we decided to play at 8:30, which meant I actually had to go to bed at a reasonable time on Tuesday. And then I had to get up early enough to actually play a game at 8:30, which I don't normally get up much before 8:30 on my days off. So I actually had to set an alarm and get my ass out of bed. I was still very tired. We did Dungeon Delvers the night before, and I had drinks, and so I was a little hungover. So we played on Tabletop Simulator. The mod there is actually really good. It's mostly scripted. There's a few things that aren't scripted that kind of suck. So we had a little bit of a refresh because I've only played it twice prior to that. I played it the time I learned it with Megan and a couple of our friends who have it and are big fans of it. And then I played it the time we did the stream of it. And that was a long time ago, and that was the last time I played. So Jeremy kind of ran through the rules again, and then we started playing. I don't know what time we actually started playing, sometime probably closer to 9:30. And man, the first couple rounds drug, and some of it was definitely my fault. It was we had a non-editable PDF spreadsheet that showed the tricks and the things, but you couldn't, because it was just a PDF and not an actual spreadsheet. You couldn't sort by columns or highlight things or do anything useful with it. And so I was having a real hard time trying to get any kind of a plan formulated for what tricks I wanted to go after and what things I wanted to do. So my first round took fucking forever. I was also, like I said, exhausted and a little bit hungover.
These are tricks, not illusions?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Trick is a trick. A trick is something a whore does for money, Michael. The name of the game's Trickerion, though, but you're doing illusions. So got through the first couple rounds. Those were rough, but then it started to smooth out as the coffee set in for me. And as we all just kind of got used to the interface on Tabletop Simulator, the game picked up and moved pretty good. Some point in so it plays out at 7 rounds. So I feel like it had to have been round 3, maybe 4. I wasn't really paying attention to the show area where you put your magic tricks together and kind of decide venues and what days you're going to perform and all that. I wasn't really paying attention to it for that round. It wasn't important to me. I was doing other things. So I was ignoring it. So I did not pay attention. I did not get to actually see it happen, but I heard Boyd then begin to immediately complain that he made a mistake, basically. He thought that Keegan would activate one of the theaters that was about to go off the board because it had like one of Keegan's tricks on it. And he thought, oh, Keegan won't want to waste that trick. But Keegan saw that if he wasted that trick, it would waste like 2 or 3 of Boyd's tricks. So he absolutely let that go off and went and did a different stage where he had like 2 tricks that weren't as, quite as good maybe or something. But really, really, really hurt Boyd, especially because Boyd was really counting on getting money from those tricks. And he got no money, so he could not afford to pay his people that round. And we learned that for every $1 you can't pay your people, which normally like is you pay like 3 to 7 is the amount that your salaries usually run. For every one that you can't pay, you go back 2 points. So it ended up being like it knocked Boyd back like 6 or 7 points, and then it also like had he gotten it, he would have earned like 3 or 4 points. So it was almost a 10-point swing from where Boyd would have been to where he ended up. And then come the end of the game, that pushed Boyd all the way back into third. If you had spotted him 10 points, he would have been narrowly second. Instead, he was barely third.
Sounds like a brass level error.
Yeah. Yeah. I made a sort of error the final round. I was gambling. Like, I could see that Boyd had 2 tokens that were going to go to downtown, and I knew I needed to go to downtown. And I was like, as long as he doesn't do those both in a row, I can do something else, then go to downtown next turn. And then he went to downtown, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Now he shouldn't have a reason to go back there immediately again. He'll probably do something else. Nope, he went back there again, which fucked me out of getting a high-level trick, because the Tier 3 illusions or tricks, they give you endgame scoring, and he kept me from getting one that would have scored me 12 points, which would have put me much closer to being in the first place, instead of being barely in second. So it was a lot of fun. Definitely started to click and go smooth there towards the end. The beginning was very rough. All told, it took us like 6 hours. So it was a very long day of gaming. But I enjoyed it. That was a good group to play with. The banter and shit talking was the right amounts to not be ridiculous, but also like, keep things entertaining.
You said that Boyd kept fucking you over, right?
Yeah, so it was that last round. Like Keegan kept posting the quotes from me. And they were things like, God damn it, Boyd, are you just a robot designed to fuck me, Adrian? Or, God damn you, Boyd, anywhere but downtown. Good game, Jeremy. So yeah, the anywhere but downtown was that, because he was like hemming and hawing, and like, oh, I don't know, dude, I guess I'll go to downtown. I was like, God damn it, Boyd, go anywhere but downtown. And then I don't remember what the are you just a robot design? Oh, he was placing illusions onto the stage, and he placed somewhere that kept me from making a major connection and having a card that was going to be really good for me, and made it where I had to place a less valuable trick. And so that's where the God damn it, Boyd, are you just a robot designed to fuck me?
Sounds like yes.
No weird context with that. Yeah.
No context.
No, definitely not. Yeah, it was good. Paul was asking about Dark Alley. I like Dark Alley. This is my second time playing with Dark Alley. It's tricky. I definitely agree with Paul that it seems a little bit like a not great game mechanism if it's so beneficial that it basically forces you to go there every turn. Like, that's not great. But I like a lot of the stuff it adds. And without it, it makes it a lot harder to get the flexibility you need to use like lots of workers, because you only have so many cards that can, because you blindly place like where you're going to send each of your workers and then everybody reveals at once. But you have a limited hand of those cards. So like some of the locations, you can only ever send one person there unless you play with Dark Alley and can get more of those cards. So the flexibility it adds, I think, makes up for the fact that it basically becomes a mandatory action on most rounds. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I liked it. I came in second. I thought I had a better chance at going for first. In looking at the final score, though, I think even had Boyd not screwed me twice in that final round, I don't know that I would have gotten quite enough points to have caught up. I think it would have been that I would have been like 2 or 3 points behind instead of like 14 points behind first. So, but it would have been closer.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Paul did post after the fact this website, boardgamesapps.com/Trickerion, that is a really awesome like auto sorting trick catalog where you can sort it like level 1, 2, or 3 tricks. You can have it show whichever ones of those you want. Tricks in specific like types of tricks because they're divided into like 4 different types. You can choose which components you have, and then it shows you what components you still need to get the remaining tricks. And then there's even a way where you can click a little box for consider components which can be bought currently in the market row, and then you can choose which things are available in the market row, which is really cool. Being able to like sort those things. They have a lot of different stuff for like sorting preferences and all that kind of stuff. It's a really handy little tool. I played around with it just a little bit to see how it would have impacted the game, and I think it would have made it so much faster if I could have used that to focus on tricks that I was working towards. That would have been great. So in the future, I will definitely be using that.
We know how much you love tricks.
I do love tricks.
And then turning them in specific
Mostly
ways.
Mostly turning them. I don't often get to perform them. But that's what I played. Jeff, you also played some board games this week. What did you play?
Yes. Got another round of the Ticket to Ride Europe, which I also came last in, once again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just not getting the strategy of Ticket to Ride. My friend has gotten very good at Ticket to Ride because he knows there's the one route on the Europe board that's 8 that gets you 21 points, and he just always seems to get the right like tickets to want to do that, especially because it's one of the tunnel ones that you need to draw 3, except he just keeps not drawing 3 for it.
Okay.
And gets 21 points and then blows us all out of the water because there's no other routes on the board that are 8, so you can't get 21 points on just one route anywhere else on the board. And then he's used up a ton of trains, and then both times he's been the one that's ended the game first, because, you know, he on one action he blew 8 trains. So I got dead last again.
I'm sure that's fine.
That's fine. Didn't really learn anything from the first game. It's just what your tickets are. Like, I mean, am I not getting enough tickets? I don't know. But
are you riding the tickets?
This one was hard because my main route was from like Cadiz at the south of Spain to Stockholm, and no one else had anything up near Stockholm, so I couldn't even use stations to use other people's routes, and I was the only one down in Spain, and so basically I was just 100% all my own shit the whole way, which makes it hard. But that's why Europe is better, because you can use those stations to use someone else's hard work for your own tickets. Except the last 2 games, everyone has used my hard work for their tickets. But yeah, it's they're entry-level board gamers, and they have really enjoyed it. So I think they were looking at other Ticket to Ride variants at this point. I know there was one this year that was like Ticket to Ride Amsterdam.
Yeah, there are some that are good for like 2 to 3 people, some that are good for more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Europe is better at 4 than it was at 3.
Makes sense. I think Netherlands is a good 2 to 3 player one. I'm trying to remember.
Maybe. We'll find out if they buy any.
There you go.
Yeah, but I think I mentioned last at Target they were like half off, so it was like $20 for a copy of Ticket to Ride Europe. It was like 1972 or something like that.
Not bad.
No, it was definitely a good Christmas gift.
Cool.
And then this was all over Christmas Eve, and then I played finally Inhuman Condition, which is the most recent game from the people that made Secret Hitler. Pretty sure, 90% sure, or at least same company-ish. Pretty sure.
Just ignore that.
Clack, 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 clack,
I
clack.
can hear the Oracle in the distance.
Yeah. From the co-creators of Secret Hitler.
Okay, some people of Secret Hitler had also made this. Or at least some of the designers. Same art, though. Anyways, it's basically Blade Runner, the board game, as in Blade Runner, the interview part, where you're trying to figure out if they're a robot or not. So there's a ton of these different inducers, they call them, and they're different categories of chatting, different questions, different prompts, small talk, creative problem solving, grief, threat assessment, moral failings. There's a whole bunch of them. And the whole game is print and play on their website as well. And then there are robot cards that are the catalyzers, and that tells you if you are a human or a robot. I think their print and play is a little different than the actual game. There's like 6 human cards, 3 patient robot, and 3 violent robot. So you have a 50-50 of whether you're a robot or a human, but it depends on what kind of robot you are. The game is more fun when you get into it, where like you are like a person interviewing as like one of the what'd they call it? I don't know, Blade Runner people, runners. And you have to ask them their name. You get a occupation card for the person/robot. And those are fun. They're things like being royalty, used van salesman, and a bunch
Stuff to help with the role play.
Exactly, because if you're just trying to be yourself, you don't. I don't know. You don't get as much into it. Like you're just like, I'm just me answering these questions instead of like I'm supposed to be a disgraced archaeologist answering these questions.
Yeah, that's the same thing for like a Spyfall. It worked a lot better when you actually tried to play the role.
Yeah,
versus
I was royalty, and I got asked questions that were like, "This would never happen to me because I'm royalty. I have people for that." So they get their role, whether they're a robot or a human. There's also a penalty, which is a bunch of different things, like swearing, saying 2 consecutive rhyming words, touch your hands together above shoulder height. I'm just going off examples of what I'm seeing online. And like you may not express opinions, you may only express observable facts. Or that's a robot thing. But basically the penalty is it's what the interviewer is looking out for, because the robots have, like, violent robots want to kill the interviewer, and they have to do things like perform the penalty twice. So if the interviewer is asking the other person questions and the penalty is swear, and they hear the other person swearing, that's either the human fucking up and like just swearing because they're just talking, or it's a robot trying to tick the boxes to where they can kill the interviewer. So if you're human, you don't want to perform the penalty. But if you're a patient robot, you're just trying to get through the interview, but you also have some sort of thing. You may not mention any people besides strangers or enemies. You may not discuss anything that happened before you woke up this morning, which is what my friend Josh had as the used car salesman. So I was interviewing him, and I was talking about like, oh, so how long ago did you open up your car lot? Or
that's a hard one to fucking walk or like try and
exactly
go around.
and it was him saying all of the answers in present tense. Like it's like my sister is over for Christmas, and like weird little things like that I was like, huh, okay. And he ended up screwing up once and cursing, and I didn't catch it because it was right at the end. Where he talked in something in like past tense, and then I marked him human, and he was not human. But as an interviewer, you're supposed to kind of press on all of these, because you can ask whatever questions you want. There are a bunch of like prompts in there, so you can actually like have any idea of what your like category you're trying to ask questions in is about.
And it doesn't say like, all right, this time we're going to be talking about like these specific things.
Yeah,
to help narrow it down if you want it.
Yeah, and that's the modules that you're using, and that there are a ton of. The components are nice. The box is really cool. It's like a fold-out magnetic box that is the board for the game that you put like the penalty cards on and the roll cards on. It comes with a nice little wood block to stand up your robot card or your human card. Comes with a whole bunch of sheets of like the interview thing.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And two stamp things too.
Two stamps for humans or robots. And then the different modules, there's a bunch of. I could see it getting a little weird if you were playing this like all the time. You would probably run through all of the different modules pretty fast because they each only have like 6 primary questions and then like 6 like follow-up questions because you're supposed to be trying to like dive deeper into whatever they're talking about to make them, I don't know, just to find out if they're a robot or not. We had a bunch of fun.
I think it's one of those things too that with the patient robots, like the little ticks that you're saying, like I think if you played a lot and you hear somebody say that same thing and especially if they're new, of like only being able to talk about today, it would be easy enough to catch on if you have experience like playing the game.
But there are 3 different of those for each module, and then I think they're different across each module as well. But
oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good then. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying there were like 12 total.
No.
But okay.
Each module of the like 12 different modules has 3 different patient and 3 different violent robots.
Gotcha.
It's just the questions that are already prompted on there. You'll probably hear a lot until you get creative, which you should be with this kind of game because you're trying to figure out if they're a fucking robot or not. That toaster's going to kill your family, man.
Yep. Isn't it like if they're a violent one, like once they fulfill all their conditions, they like have to slam their arms on the table or something like that?
The official rules are you have to do something to startle the investigator.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like slamming your hands down on a table. Or
punch him in the face.
Yes, yes, that will startle him quite a bit.
And if it doesn't, then you know there's something wrong with that person. Like, their face just doesn't move at all. And you're like, uh-oh, they're the robot. Shit.
Yes. But yeah, like the robot, it's more interesting when you are trying to pretend to be a robot than it is just being a human. But it depends on how much they get into their role.
Right. So quick question, and this is just because I watched you play this once,
yes,
but it's been a while. As the investigator, if you suspect, like, can you end it at any time if you think the other person is like a violent robot and you don't want them to? Okay.
Yes, you can. To be like, I'm gonna stop the interview here. Stamp. They'll guide you off into the next room. But it depends if you get it right or wrong.
Right.
Or if you take a pay cut or something.
Gotcha. Sounds to me, though, that you could also just have a 33% chance, or even, I guess, 50 and then 25. No, because you don't care if they're a patient robot or
no, it's just whether if they're a robot or not.
Right. So you got 50-50 shot right at the beginning.
Yep.
Let's start, and boom. Did I win or did I lose? Oh,
one of the fun things is that if they're human and you mark them as a robot, you're supposed to write an apology letter on the interview page to their family. Because you just killed them. Yes. Yeah. So there's fun things like that.
Yeah. Dear family, I just didn't feel like asking any questions, so I just chose randomly.
Yes. But yeah, it's neat. It was a lot of fun. I have no idea how much this game costs because I got it on a Kickstarter that was in like 2018, and I think I got it early 2020. I want to say, looks like
there's a
$40-ish dollars.
Yep, on Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, or you can buy it from their website for $40.
Yeah, Kickstarter. I don't know how much. Did the Kickstarter add anything to it?
I don't think so. It may have been.
Like an extra module or two.
Yeah, an extra module or two or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like... Yeah, I don't even know when this thing started. Or when the Kickstarter started. But I guess it changed quite a bit from when it came out on the Kickstarter to when it finally hit.
That makes sense, yeah.
But I got it for $25. I mean...
Nice.
Yeah, the Kickstarter was $25 and then it ended up being $40, so that's a pretty decent...
Yep.
chunk
So if you try and get it now, you're getting ripped off. Just know that.
Yep. And there are multiplayer modes that you can do in there. But
I saw that. That was sort of interesting. It's like you can do up to like 6 to 8 people.
And there's one that's like a ton if you really want it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's it's like you're doing an interview with an audience is one of them, and so the audience can like boo or clap, depending on how good the person is like interviewing, I guess, or how good their answers are. And then there's another one that it's like a debate, like a political debate, and you may or may not have a robot that's trying to get into like parliament or whatever, and so it's kind of like a debate format of interview, I guess.
Huh, weird.
Yeah. I didn't get too in-depth of reading those, but because we just did the one-on-one stuff. So yeah, September 12th, 2018 is when that started, and I finally played it.
Nice.
2 years
About
later.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I played.
Right on.
Human Conditions is fun and neat.
Yep.
Less Hitler.
Yeah.
Always a plus.
Yeah.
That's definitely a benefit.
Could be Robot Hitler. I don't know. That's what we're trying to find out here.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Zach, you didn't play anything, right? No Candyland updates or
Shoots and ladders.
Shoots and ladders.
Life.
Look, unfortunately, there is only a finite amount of games that can be played in any one week, and you guys took them. So I just had to find other things to do, unfortunately.
Oh, I see.
All right. Well, I think that moves us over to some banter. Where I have something to admit. I've been playing and really, really enjoying Watch Dogs again.
Legion?
Legion?
Yeah. So
Did you get it for your Xbox?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it came in my
Bundle
my bundle
that I
for my
forwarded to you.
new Xbox that Jeff hooked me up with. Yep.
Now's
and
the
it was actually-
time. I believe was the text I sent.
something like that, yes. And then it amazingly worked out. And I've also really grown the Elite 2 controller. I know I'd kind of complained about it before. I'm still not using it with the paddles, but
I don't
it's
either.
really I've gotten very used to the way it feels, and it doesn't feel like it's rubbing my pinkies raw anymore. Because that's where like something about the way my pinky sat when I held it felt like it was rubbing.
I just immediately took the paddles off. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
like
my paddles,
because it's a little more grippy.
Is it because you don't have pinkies anymore? They wore off, and now it's fine.
It's some sort of machinery accident.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed, but yes, I did just wear them to nubs with all of the Xbox gaming I've been doing.
There you go.
A lot of pinky controls.
But yeah, they patched the save issue that was pissing me off, and so I've been just playing a bunch of it and have weirdly been enjoying it. It took me until like I had recruited over 30 operatives to start seeing repeats.
How dare you enjoy
like recruit
something.
an operative?
It's a real piece of shit move, Adrian.
Yeah. Rookie move.
Yeah. It's
Well,
a rookie mistake. You hate to see it.
Because I feel like when I mentioned like I've been playing this and it was okay, and Jeff was like, "That's the perfect description of it. It's just okay" or something. And well, now I've been really enjoying it and playing it a lot. So
Look,
yeah.
people can like okay things, bad things.
It's true.
And it's it's no knock against you.
I have still been playing RimWorld as well, which is fantastic. And then Megan on Christmas Day got me Phoenix Point Year 1, which is the latest game from the creators of XCOM.
Also, another just okay game.
Yeah, I was really excited for it, and I really appreciate the thought she put into picking it, like knowing like that I loved XCOM and I like those kind of games.
She probably didn't know that it's also on Game Pass.
Oh, she definitely did not know it's on Game Pass.
Have you played less than 2 hours of it?
I have played 5 hours.
Well, it's
unfortunately.
How many crab people have you killed?
How many what?
Crab people.
Oh, so many crab people. So many crab people.
Game is mostly crab people killing.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that they changed from XCOM, like combat-wise, that I actually really like and think are really great innovations.
The cone of fire and not just the
like
fire. Line.
Yeah. Well, I like that the Overwatch, you set up the cone and so I like the aiming, like the circle, And it's like it's gonna hit, your shots are gonna hit somewhere in here based on how accurate your person is. I like the manual aiming is a thing, so you can target body parts. Like, oh, I'll shoot that fucking one fast guy's legs out from under him, so that even though I can't kill him, he won't be able to get over to me and murder me before my next turn. I like that Overwatch is, like you said, like kind of a cone, and you can see exactly where it is, and so you can make it really close. Like, hey, you only have a shotgun. Don't try and shoot if somebody runs, fucking 40 feet out in front of you. Only shoot if they're 20 feet in front of you. I really like that kind of customization. Custability, that's totally not a word.
Nope.
I like that it broke it down. Instead of being like 2 steps, it's 4, but most actions cost like 2. I just think that additional granularity in like what you can do and where you can move is awesome. And I like that if you move 1 step for your first action, like that doesn't get rid of that whole move action. Like you can still move, because that was always something that pissed me off in XCOM, is it's like I want to move just a little bit to see if I see anything and then make a different choice. But in XCOM, like once you've moved twice, you're just done no matter what. Even if you only moved 2 squares and your movement's 10 squares. Like that sucks. I like also that this one, like as you're moving, if you spot an enemy that you hadn't seen before, it stops your movement. So like you can be like, oh shit, never mind, I'm going to run back to cover. Just little things like that are awesome mechanical improvements in the gameplay, but the story is just not there. Like it was in XCOM. I don't find myself caring about the overarching crab people problem.
Yep.
And I haven't gotten far enough in it, only 5 hours, to really deal with the different faction stuff. Because there's like 3 other factions out there besides you, and like none of them like each other, but you're trying to manage your relationship with them to get them to help you, even though they all hate each other. And if you get too friendly with one of their enemies, they'll start to hate you too, I think. So
it was one of the early pickups from Epic Game Store to be like, no, this is exclusive to Epic Game Store for 1 year and it was a Kickstarter. And so everyone that Kickstarted it and was like, I want a Steam key. Well, you can wait a year or get an Epic's game key, and that it was not dealt with very well.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
That sucks. I still refuse to use it. Like, Epic gave away a bunch of free games over Christmas, and I was like, nope, fuck you. Those
and
are some good games,
in
but
fact.
Correct.
That's
unfortunate. Unfortunately, Epic that's basically where Ubisoft games go for like the first year. So
besides their own store.
Well, yes. Which
so
is also worse.
Yes.
So I was looking, so it is mostly positive on Steam, and I was looking, and this right here, this is actually perfect. Simple pro-con list. Pro, more strategic weapon and classes than XCOM. Better targeting than XCOM. More detailed world than XCOM. Cons, not as good as XCOM. And that's really how it feels. Like it feels like it does so much better than XCOM, but somehow just isn't as good.
Yeah, and I think it only, the year 1 edition only hit December, which I don't know if that was its final like year of exclusivity finish or something, or if it was just the year 1 edition. But I remember it had a bunch of problems when it came out, and it needed patching, and I was glad I didn't end up backing it. So
yeah,
and now it's on Game Pass, and I can just download it and play it. I still haven't done that. So
I see. I didn't know it was on Game Pass. Otherwise, I would have immediately just refunded it. Because Megan was like, I don't know, like, you have 40 games on your wish list. And I just picked, like, I kind of looked at them and I was like, this one's like XCOM. And I know you like XCOM. And it's one of your most played games. So I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
I was like, that's very sweet. And I didn't even know it was on Game Pass. Or, like I said, I would have refunded it and just downloaded it through my Game Pass.
Yeah.
But it's 50% off right now. So she got a good deal on it. And it's good enough. I'm happy with it.
And that's the Game Pass that's only on the console, right? Because I don't see it. Is it?
Pretty sure.
Oh, no, it is on actual. Yeah. Okay. It does on
PC Game Pass.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So,
PC Game Pass continues to be a good deal.
Even with its increased price. Or back to normal
price. 10, yes. It's non-beta price.
Yes.
Yeah. And there isn't, like, Steam only has the year 1 edition. There's not, like, the older original edition, so.
Which I think was the one that went on to Epic.
Yeah. all previously released content. So 3 DLC packs, bunch of updates, upgrades, fixes, and new content all included. So it's one of those things I probably actually won by not getting involved with this like a year ago when it was shit, because then I would have hated it and I'd have been angry.
Phoenix Point.
Instead.
AKA pointing guns at crabs.
Yeah, lots and lots of fucking melee crabs of various speeds and strengths. It is really fucking annoying. Like, they have like a weight mechanic now that kind of annoys me because, like, yeah, so like in XCOM, all of your guys have their main gun and a sidearm, and it's just simple. Whereas like now, like, because of the way you have like readied items and not readied items, it's like you can carry a health kit and ammo readied so you can refill your reload and heal easy, or you can have like a sidearm readied, but those are kind of heavy. And it's like some of my guys don't have sidearms, and then their first attack they get their arm broke, and it's like, oh, you can't use your two-handed rifle anymore. Sucks to be you. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, well, this guy is now just running around as a scout until he dies.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. That's my video game update.
I destroyed Torghast level 6.
Nice.
Like,
I don't know what that is.
That is a World of Warcraft roguelike.
I know.
Then why'd you say you didn't know?
Well, I know it's. I knew it was World of Warcraft. I didn't. I said I know before the roguelike. I didn't realize that was a roguelike thing.
Yes. I got like the perfect epic upgrade as my first one. It's the one that gives you,
nice, right?
It gives you bloodlust for 15 seconds. Whenever you put down a totem. And it can only occur every 30 seconds.
No.
So, oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I fucking...
just 15 seconds of no bloodlust.
Yeah. So I destroyed every floor.
Nice.
I made it to level 6. Made a legendary belt.
Nice.
I did one dungeon, the Bastion, one of the second Bastion.
Spires of Ascension?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where my best legendary memory drops.
Nice.
Got it on the first fucking run.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Yep.
It took me like 20 times of doing Necrotic Wake for me to get mine.
Yeah, it's like a 2% drop, or 2 or 3. And I was like, well, done there.
Done.
Yep.
Nice.
But best in slot memory already.
Yeah. And just know that when you're upgrading it, it costs the same as if you built it if you go 1, 2, 3, and then 4, it costs the same soul ash as if you went straight to 4.
Yes.
So the only increased cost is the actual material thing that you're upgrading.
Yeah,
so.
you just need the blank whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up just buying the highest one I had soul ash for, because fuck leveling up those legendary items in crafting.
Oh yeah.
It's
no, you gotta put in some effort for that.
Oh my god. I didn't. So you craft, it's 75 levels, and you get 5 experience to go from rank 1 to rank 2. So you have to build that same item 15 times.
Correct, yep.
To get it up to rank 2, and I didn't even know what it is after that. And I was just like, holy shit. Like,
yeah, it's
the amount of materials alone, like, and they're like 1,700 gold for like 1/10
I want to
the materials I need.
I want to say that the leather and the mail ones are more expensive comparatively than the cloth and the plate ones.
Yeah, the heavy callus hide sucks.
Yep.
It's like a green level material, and you need 10 of them to make one, and then you need 10 of those, and then you have to enchant 5 of them. It's like, all right, I made one. I'm just gonna sell it because I need a belt, anyways.
Nice.
So
yeah, I currently have 2. I have 2 legendaries because I built one, and then I got then I got the best one for me. But that one is of course a different set, or it was gloves, or no, it was legs versus my previous ones, which were gloves. So now I have backup legs and gloves depending on which one I'm using, and then I eventually want to get there's a PvP one that, have you ever played a warrior?
No.
Okay. Do you know Heroic Leap?
Yes.
Okay, so that it increases your heroic leaps by 2 or 3, by getting these specific feat that I want to get for doing world content, because I'll just fucking hop everywhere like a fucking bunny.
Okay.
especially Torghast and things like that. And so that'll be another set, another item that I'll have to keep off to the side. But yeah, Torghast has been nice so far. Have you tried 7 or 8 yet?
No.
Okay.
Because I think me just beating 6 unlocked 7 finally, so.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And it's not like you get that much more Soul Ash too, so it's like
it's
you're
like
not
90 or 80 or something like that.
Yeah, to do both of them,
yeah.
I think. So you're definitely not missing out on much if you only can get to like 6.
Yeah.
I finally did the raid, or I did most of the raid.
Okay. I did the LFR.
You did the LFR?
Yep.
My friend got on Tuesday, and I was like, oh, I built my new leggings of the legendary ones, and I invited him into a group to be like, hey, I want to show you, like, for whatever reason, I was like, hey, let me invite you into a group. Except that I was like, oh, I guess he's already in a group. Let me just request to join group real quick. And then it was all of a sudden there's like 14 people in a group, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then they're like, all right, we're summoning you to the raid. And I was like, wait, what? And it was too awkward to try and quit. So I was like, I guess I'm like, because I'd already played for 3 or 4 hours, and I was like, oh, like I was literally I exited out of the game, and then my friend got on, and I was like, oh, let me log back on and show them these legs real quick. And then I was in for another 5 hours.
Yay!
Yeah. But I got 3 pieces out of it.
Okay.
And
that's 210 gear?
210, yes.
Yeah.
We did one boss at heroic level, which was fucking like
a poor choice.
It took us 3 times to beat it.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not too bad, but it's definitely very mechanically driven. Like a lot of this.
It's a lot more
raid.
punishing.
Yes. But it's
polymorph
it's
the bear. That's all I remember.
Yes. Yep. Those fucking shades. Yeah. I did. I think what was it 7? So 8 bosses with that first guy.
Wow.
And it was it was pretty enjoyable. I liked pretty much all the fights that we did. They were all pretty unique.
Yeah.
And definitely required different things out of you. But fucking being melee is annoying on some of this shit, because you're just having to jump everywhere to have to do there's one boss, and I think you fight him with LFR, the World Edge Hunger Destroyer, big fucking blue dude.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that it's like, oh, if you're next to sometimes you have to be right next to people because they can't be healed. They can only leech other people's health. And then other times you have to move away from everybody else, because it's all based on blue circles. And it's like, this blue circle does this one does this one does this.
Shade of Iran 4.0.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
But that's been going pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm definitely at the point now where I'm like logging on to do my daily, like that daily calling.
Covenant daily.
Yeah, and then to do the weekly stuff, but then otherwise not getting on too much right now, which is fine.
Yep. Because
I don't want to get burnout on it.
Yeah, basically you kind of can finish what you need in a couple days.
Yep.
Of short playtime, and then you don't really have to touch it until the reset, because you're walled off about how much you can progress.
Yes. Well, which is nice, because it gave me a chance to finally try out Immortals: Phoenix Rising. That was a game that
Next generation.
Exactly, yeah. That was one that I was going to want to get on the PS5 until I was like, oh, I'm probably going to wait till February to get a PS5. And then Epic had it for 30% off, so it was $40, except they also have that $10 coupon.
Yep.
So it was half off, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, my computer can run it well enough, and I think I'm running it at max at 1440p at around 60 frames per second. So I'm like, yeah, this works great.
Yeah.
So the game's basically Breath of the Wild and Assassin's Creed Odyssey's just sort of had a baby, and
yes,
it came out looking like that.
Sure did.
It's been a lot of fun. Just like both of those games are, it's more humorous than I was expecting, and most of it lands, so that's good. Nothing like a funny game that's not funny. That's always very awkward, but I think this one does a fairly good job of it. And then I've also been playing more Superhot VR. I finally got around to trying hardcore on that.
Yeah.
And
Is it just more or
no? So it's, I mean, you basically do, you know, all the same stuff, except normally, like time moves at the same speed, except when you do something.
Yeah.
So normally, like when you shoot somebody, it's like a quarter of a second passes by.
Yeah.
For this one, it's like a second passes by anytime you do something. So you're like, nobody's doing anything, and then you shoot, and then there's like 3 shotgun blasts right in your face, and you're like, oh god. So you have to really learn how to do multiple things at once. So it's like when you're shooting, you need to shoot and move at the same time because the game registers that all as like one action. Or if you're like grabbing something, it's like you're going to shoot, but also grab the thing you need to do, because if you do both of those, you're not looking at people nearly long enough, and then you're going to get shot in the back of the head. But I finally beat it, and that definitely took a while. And it was tough, but it was a lot of fun, as that game is. Have you played any more VR? Are you still
No, just I think Squadrons was the last thing I did with VR.
Gotcha. Your roommate still
working from home.
Working from home,
Yep.
all in the living room.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And she just got her first vaccine shot.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll have one vaccinated person in this house.
You'll have
Do you
one
know which one she
vaccinated.
got?
I don't.
Megan
Well,
got the Pfizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever UC Anschutz is using, which I assume is also Pfizer.
I think probably still at this point.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
That was the first
although
one
I know
that came out.
some people I know are starting to get the Moderna, but
I've heard that it reacts negatively for people who have had cosmetic facial fillers.
Yep.
But it is basically like prescription strength Benadryl sort of clears it up. But I just like that they're like, if you've had like basically like Botox or, you know, any of that shit, it causes like an allergic reaction somehow.
weird.
Yay!
Yeah. So now you can ask people medically, oh, have you had anything done? This is a medical question, by the way.
I watched a bunch of movies. I watched the A Stupid and Futile Gesture,
Yes.
which is a Will Forte movie from like 2018 that I didn't know existed, about the creation of National Lampoon, and I learned a lot, and it was very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend, if you don't know anything about National Lampoon, go into it pretty much blind, because you get a lot more, like, I don't know, learning out of it, and how the movie is set up is definitely like, you don't know who this person is. Here's a story about them.
Yep. Here's this person you don't know that you know a lot of, like, the surrounding people.
Yes, but you don't know the story of him.
Yep.
And they told it in a very good way.
Yes, they did.
It's on Netflix. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's funny, and it's Will Forte.
Yeah, there's definitely some people in there that they cast them to, like, because they have the sort of essence of that person versus, like, actually looking like that.
And they do directly say that out loud in the movie.
Exactly,
It breaks the fourth wall a lot, it
does.
Which is good. And I wondered who the Rodney Dangerfield character was. Apparently, it's just a Rodney Dangerfield impersonator.
Oh.
That's like, I was like, who did they get? They never really showed who it was at all, but it sounded a lot like him. And I was like, oh, it's just literally an impersonator they got to sound like Rodney Dangerfield. Watched the Wonder Woman, 1984.
Yep. I haven't seen it yet.
It's got some
a movie?
problems. It was nice seeing Pedro Pascal without his teeth getting blown out or behind a helmet. Acting.
Pedro Pascal was arguably one of the best things about that entire movie.
Yes.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because he's great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Pedro.
Everyone put forth effort.
Yeah, I like that.
It was like gym class in high school.
The worst.
As long as you show some effort.
Yeah.
We'll give you a passing grade. D-.
It is definitely a movie where the more I think about it, the more it upsets me, though. Like the more things just like don't make sense. Like when I finished it, the first thing that I commented which like I posted on Slack in the spoiler thread. It was just like meh, but it has gone beyond meh. And the more I think about that movie, it's gone more meh. Yeah, really disappointed because the first one I liked. It was one of my favorite DC movies.
It's still one of the best.
I mean, that's not saying much though.
No.
Correct.
We got that fucking Snyder Cut 4-parter coming out.
Yes, we do.
God.
I mean, I just hope, I mean, it's one of those things I'm like, I hope it's better, but I also sort of don't, because then it'll give, all those people, I don't know,
Give them work.
Well, no, not them. No, all the shitty people online. Like, it'll justify them.
Yeah.
We're like, see, we were right. And it's like,
You know what I just realized? I was talking about a futile and stupid gesture, and I just realized that his partner that he started up with is Domhnall Gleeson?
Correct.
Oh.
Yep.
Of, Star
A bunch of
Wars
shit.
General Hux fame. And I just
Yeah.
realized that right now.
Wait, who was that?
General Hux, the red hair guy.
Yeah. Who are you talking about?
In a futile and stupid gesture, he's the partner in
Yeah,
that. And I
the
just
thing you
realized
haven't-
he had black hair the whole movie, and I was just like, oh yeah, it's that fucking guy.
Yes, it is.
Somehow, the way you said that, like, I didn't realize. I missed the little bit of you switching back to talking about stupid and futile gesture, and I thought you were still talking about Wonder Woman. I was like, where was whose partner? What?
Oh, they actually replaced Gal Gadot with him.
Yeah.
At one point,
He did a great job.
With Tom
He
Holland.
did.
I just CGI'd her face on him.
Yeah.
Oh.
He really did a female Israeli accent really well. So
Yes.
Yeah. That's...
what one of my favorite things from the first Wonder Woman movie is that they gave everybody like her accent because like she doesn't do that great of a job of not having that accent, and so they're just like, well, if everybody has that accent, then people are like, oh, that's just the accent of that island.
Yep. That's just how they talk. I played a video game called Bug Snacks to completion.
Oh, how long did that take you?
Not very long, like 7 hours, 6
It's
hours.
on Xbox, right?
PlayStation and
Oh, PlayStation.
PC.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's a weird fucking game.
Yeah, it's a weird game. It's from the people that did Octodad.
Oh God.
But it's not kind of, it's not that.
No.
It's like a first-person adventure game where you're kind of catching Pokemon.
It's like Pokemon Snap, but like
Pokemon Snacks.
Pokemon Snack.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you
looks...
feed the bug snacks to the people, but it turns their limbs into like whatever they just ate, and they have no problem with it.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. The game takes a turn at the end that I won't spoil. But it's got some real Cronenberg shit going on in that game for being kind of lighthearted, and it is very well voice acted.
Everything about it makes me cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that description and like looking at like I looked it up and looking at like the art on like the cover for the PS5 is just like what?
Yeah, they're kind of like Muppets crossed with Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Because then their arm turns into a banana.
And they're like, well, that's my life now.
That's my arm's a banana. And it was very delicious.
Yep.
This guy's got tomato hands.
Yes.
Yep.
But the end of that game
Goes places.
oh boy, does it. You learn some things. Yeah. And, World of Warcraft. Returned Cyberpunk. I played it for less than 2 hours. I only owned it for 8 days. Half that playtime was trying to fiddle with all the settings to make it run like not shit. And then I returned it. And I bought...
Just go get it for like half price in a year or so.
Yeah, when it's done. And I ended up buying Root and Terraforming Mars on the Steam sale.
Yeah, I saw the route was like $10 or something like that.
Yeah, like half off?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I look forward to trying those at some point. Instead of Cyberpunk, which was, I didn't have high hopes for Cyberpunk. I wasn't pumped like everyone else was.
You weren't cyber pumped.
No. Cyber pumped. I was just like, oh, that could be cool. Oh, this runs like fucking garbage. Bye. And I'll wait for it later. I can live without that fucking game.
Yeah.
Unlike some people.
Well, and especially at that point, you'll possibly have a 3080.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. Or it'll just be NVIDIA being bought out by the scalpers that they were selling to. And now the scalpers run the company.
Yeah, maybe you'll have the 4080. Who's to say?
Yeah, like I need a new processor. Those are all gone. Like I just want like a Ryzen 7. I don't want like a Ryzen 9. Yeah, and that's I don't know. That's probably Banter.
Yeah, I think that's about Banter. It snowed today. I'm going
all
snowboarding.
Melted.
Yeah, it has pretty much already all melted. I'm going snowboarding Thursday for the first time all season. So
yay!
Yeah. I'll not next week, but the following week I'll update everyone on how good or not good Bluebird is.
Where is Bluebird?
Bluebird is I'm trying to remember the name of the mountain. It's like halfway between Silverthorn and Steamboat.
Okay.
Bear Mountain. Bear
Mountain
is yeah. And so it's a little private mountain, and like it's a little temporary like base camp, and then all boot pack. They don't have snowmaking. They don't have lifts. So it's going to be a lot of hiking, but hopefully good riding. I don't know. The 29th, when we go up, or the 31st when we go up, will be their opening day. It wasn't supposed to be, but apparently the snow gods have not smiled on them. And since they don't have snowmaking, they are very dependent on said snow gods to bless them with good snow. And so we'll see if they get some and what the snow conditions are like and how things are when we go up there. So I don't know. I'm still looking forward to just actually getting to go snowboarding because I have sorely missed it. And so, yeah, now Banter can be done.
Indeed.
And we can move over to Bloody Minute?
Nope.
No Bloody Minute.
Nope.
Right on. Then I think that just moves us straight on into news and Kickstarters.
It sure does. Which there is not much of, because it's fucking Christmas and New Year's. So, first up on news this week, Game Salute / the people that own Everdell are filing some. Not Game Salute.
What Game Salute's the thing at the very top?
Yes,
but
it's Starling.
It's
Starling Games, Tabletop Tycoon.
Yes.
So are ceasing and desisting Etsy shops.
Yeah. So, in the continuing saga of everything that Game Salute ever touches is bad. As somebody points out in one of the comments here, you can take Game Salute out of the name, but you can't take Game Salute out of the company or whatever.
Yeah.
Everdell has been sending cease and desist letters. Starling Games, Tabletop Tycoon, have been sending cease and desist letters to Etsy creators who have made accessories for Everdell. And somebody posted a thread about it. They got linked in this larger fuck everything Game Salute thread. So they replied somewhere in this larger thread. Where they're like, thanks for your concern about how we're handling copyright infringement. Our concern is over confusion for the consumer under both U.S. and international law, making people believe unofficial Etsy listings may be official. Which, first of all, I can't imagine there's a consumer on the planet who isn't less than 100 years old who would assume that something on Etsy is ever official. Etsy is basically the definition of unofficial shit. Then they talk about we adore people's creativity and enthusiasm, but we want people to remove instances of our trademark in titles, descriptions, and any images showing our products, components, or logos that could imply official or authorized status. And so people are wait, so they're not allowed to even show the components involved in what their upgrade does? So they just have to show the upgrade and be like, yes, this works with a game about woodland critters that may or may not feature a giant cardboard tree good luck figuring that out or finding this when you search for it. Like, if you search for, like, Everdell upgrades, like, you can't find anything because they can't use Everdell in their fucking titles. Like, the whole thing, like, don't get me wrong, I do understand the necessity for companies to protect their IP. Like, I get that. And I get that IP law is also fucking stupid to where in many situations, if you don't defend it, you lose it, which is also stupid because there needs to be some amount of leeway to be like, yeah, we didn't defend it when it was some random Etsy shop, but yes, we're going to defend it now when it's like, Target or something. Like there needs to be scales here where it's like, yeah, we didn't care when it was one random person, but now that it's like something bigger, or now that they've grown bigger, and have grown bigger off of that, it just, I think some of this, like, I don't think it would have been as big of a deal if it wasn't for the fact that their previous connections to GameSalute and all of the massive problems that GameSalute has had over the years. But it still seems weird that, like, there's a lot of people on Etsy making fancy board game components for other game companies that aren't getting cease and desist letters. So, I don't know. Seems a little shady.
Yeah,
verging on shitty.
Yes, it's a little shitty. But supposedly they don't even have to fucking do it. They're like, nope, sorry, you're wrong. Bye.
Yeah. The main thread here like has links to other things where it talks about like the Tabletop Tycoon post where they use like the terms copyright and trademark interchangeably, even though those are not the same thing or not interchangeable and have very different rules for fair use and stuff. And then like, yeah, there's lots of different areas where like people point out that the whole thing's kind of garbage. And then somebody, of course, because this is the way things always go, somebody's like, maybe they should take a look at how Stonemaier approaches the issue, and links to one of Stonemaier's blogs about third-party accessories. So, yeah.
Yeah.
As always, Jamie Stegmaier with the solution.
Yes.
But yeah. So, if you're making Everdell stuff or anything related to any of their other games, just be aware about shenanigans. But we can move on to the next bit of news.
And the last bit of news, Fantasy Flight is outsourcing their map creation via a contest where your reward is you get your map in their next codex thing.
Yeah, so basically sounds like it's bragging rights is essentially the prize for winning, but they have a bunch of different rules. You can submit maps for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 players. So there's 6 different categories, and the 6 maps that win each category, 1 map that wins each category, 6 total maps, are going to get put into Volume 2 of that Imperial Codex, which is like a bunch of maps and things.
Yeah, what is the Imperial Codex? It says Volume 2. What was Volume 1? I have no idea.
I think that the Codex is the it's like not the learn to play, but like the sort of rules reference, and then they include something else too that it was like, here's sort of the flavor text of everything, and then they add some like map variants, and I'm assuming this is just another thing of that.
Web-based publication, so it seems like it's an online only.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like where they share stuff about like, so they've got on their website Codex Volume 1 cards, and then Codex Volume 1, which has a bunch of credits, rules updates, Omega Initiative, variant components that rework pre-existing components for usability and balance. So Wormhole Generator, Magnus Reactor, Yin Spinner, stuff like that. New artifacts that are new components that are debuting for the first time. Pax Magnifica section contains scenarios, game modes, and setup variants that change how the game is played. And then Nexus showcases content designed and developed by members of the community. So that's the rough index for Volume 1 of the Codex, which I will share in our shared Google Sheets thingy. And Zach, you can maybe include it as its own link. It's a little PDF of a bunch of different stuff.
It looks like something that may have been wanted to go to print at some point. They're like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, it's definitely like fully formatted and everything. Like it would definitely be fit to print.
Where's this first one that you're looking at? Sorry.
I just shared the link in the Google Sheet.
Oh, Google.
I found it right on there. Like I searched Imperial Codex Twilight Imperium on Google. First hit was a link to the TI page, a page on Fantasy Flight's website that had it, and then a separate link to the cards. So it adds like a bunch of cards. So they have a separate link where you can get like the files to print and play the cards. So like new promissory notes, new faction text, new basic text, all kinds of stuff like that.
And some
just to add to your game. And balance changes, new action cards. And they're like really well done. Like the print and play, like if you had access to a good printer that could print them on good cardstock, it would probably be indecipherable. Like they've got cool flavor text and all kinds of stuff. So, War Machine. When one or more of your units use production, apply +4 to the total production value of your units and reduce the combined cost of the produced units by 1. Interesting.
So they're going to do another one of these, and they want your maps to go in it.
Yeah. So,
and
yeah,
I think
the scenarios are kind of cool.
Yeah, I think this works better. Like, we've seen something in the past that was similar, where it was like that art design contest, but I feel like, theoretically at least, there's less work done into this, and it's not like, I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like I feel like this is a cool thing, but the art one was a shitty thing.
Yeah.
So, I did not realize there was a Twilight Imperium book. Interesting.
That's pretty new, I think. They're trying to flesh out the lore of the Twilight Imperium universe, I think.
Nice. Cool.
The rule updates are actually kind of interesting too. Like they've got only a handful of them so far, but like gravity rifts. To avoid a number of unusual mechanical interactions, the timing and exact effect of gravity rifts has been adjusted. Now units roll for gravity rift as they pass through it rather than in the destination system, and units that fail to survive the roll are removed from the board and return to players' reinforcements rather than being destroyed, meaning that abilities that trigger when a unit is destroyed are not resolved.
Oh, okay.
Rerolls during combat. Abilities that reroll or modify no longer need to be used immediately following a single roll. Instead, a player can roll dice for all of their units in the combat before deciding which, if any, to reroll. So there must have been people complaining about like, oh, this one unit, I can reroll its die, but if I roll a big handful of die, then how do I know which ones are which? And they're just saying, you don't, just fucking roll them all and then pick one to reroll.
Yeah.
Which is definitely simplifies things. But I don't know. So yeah, so version 2 of this will have so this one only has one map, Right Cat Soup. I don't know why the name. I was hoping they'd explore it somewhere.
I don't know why the name.
That Right Cat Soup. I don't know. But it has some notes about like the design of it. It's a 6-player galaxy map. Where Imperialis is like one of the starting faction areas, and they're like, yeah, it looks kind of weak, but here's why I think it's not, and stuff like that. And like another one, like Gravitas Rex, they're like, this looks like a great starting spot, but here's some other issues. Yeah.
So maybe we'll get some creative maps like that in this
hopefully.
Next one.
Want more? Check out Space Cats Peace Turtles, Twilight Imperium Community Podcast.
That's probably why it's called that.
I mean, I guess.
That's it for news.
Yeah.
And now Kickstarter. Today's Kickstarter is Gamer's Chest. Very well funded. 170,000 of its 5.
It just passed it.
Yeah. It just passed it, yeah.
As it moved, as I went over to the window. 170,000 of its $5,000 goal. Over 1,100 backers. 3 weeks left to pledge this one, which you will most likely back for about $130.
So the Gamer's Chest is a cool little gaming accessory that is a dice tower and a bunch of dice trays all combined. So it's an all-in-one tabletop game organizer. You get, with the base pledge, 1 dice tower, which serves also as the carrying case. You get 12 thin tiles, which you can choose from a variety of different designs for. 2 bank tiles, 1 dice box, and then 4 coasters. And all of those tiles that are listed there, so the like 17 tiles, 19 tiles, all fit inside the tower, and then it closes up and it's all latched with little magnets and things. It's really bold that they somehow claim that's 1,000 pieces, but
Each screw is a piece.
I think that's what they're saying. Like
Each magnet is a piece.
Yeah, because these are little wooden hex things. Essentially, yeah, you personalize your set however you want. The simple tiles, they've got like a bunch of different varieties. Like some have 3 carved out pockets for components, 4, 7. This one has a weird ring with a centerpiece, so you can have like a center die and then a bunch of die around it. I don't know, I don't get it. Just big open spots that are either hex or circle. Card ones that have like thin milled lines to stack cards in. Chip holders that are curved to hold like poker chip style sizes. The bank tiles are basically the same thing. They're just the thickness of 2 of the regular tiles. And they come in 1, 2, 3, and 4 divider versions. Coasters are the thin ones with a circle milled out and a cork coaster stuck in it. And then the dice box is like 4 of them, I think. 3 tiles. The dice box is 3 tiles thick, and it's just a little dice holder with a lid that magnetically clips on there. All of those tiles fit inside that dice tower, which then pulls apart and has slots to put in some other little cards and reassemble it when it's empty to make it a dice tower. With a little tray at the bottom to catch the dice that come out of. That tray locks into the top. The crenellations from it's made to look like a little keep tower, and the crenellations on it, when you take the top and put it back on, they fit together and like lock it into place with the magnets and whatnot. We got a few different types of wood, alder, maple, cherry, and oak. Increasing base pledges from 140 to 170 depending on what type of wood, as well as additional per like coaster and things that you go in on. You can add engravings. They've got currently 23 types of engravings, but they're adding more. And then you can get, for $10, a little leather mat that fits down in the bottom of the dice tray to catch your dice and reduce the clickety-clackety dice smackety. Yeah. Looks like you can maybe mix and match the woods. So, like, if you want it to be, like, one of the pictures of it shows the dice tower, like, with one color wood and then the top crenellation in, like, a darker wood to give it kind of a, highlight effect. All of their pictures of it with, like, components actually in action are just a great mismatch of, like, board game components. Like, oh, there's some Splendor poker chips and some Splendor cards. And, oh, there's, like, a bunch of random, like, D6s that are all the same color. And some other generic components that I can't identify the game from. All mixed and matched together.
Yeah, some of the D8s look like the D8s from the World of Warcraft miniatures game. That
it's something weird.
It's like long dead. Shit they had laying around.
Yeah. All the things are magnetic, so they all clip together and stack together, and they've got labels for the magnetic poles so you know which ways are north, so it makes it easy to align all of your hexes in the right order to where they'll stick together rather than just, feel it, because it's not hard to feel which way magnets go together. They kind of self-correct. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows how magnets work?
Scientists lying and pissing me off.
Sad, the lyrics.
but not unsurprised.
No.
I don't even know if that's the that's a paraphrase of the lyrics, but that is by far and away one of my favorite songs to play to people, where it's like, wait, you've never heard of this song? Because I'll do the magnets, how do they work? And then people are like, what? I'm like, wait, have you never heard this ICP song? Oh, we're going to watch it right now. Because that video is
fantastic.
Oh my God.
They're basically just in clouds the entire time.
Oh, I'm gonna see now. I just want to watch the video. We need to do a
that
Mile
after.
High Game Guys live react to.
That's where the YouTube hits come in.
Yep.
Yes. So yeah. So this Trey, it's interesting. I don't know how useful some of the thinner ones are actually gonna be. Because I mean they're pretty shallow bowls.
Yeah, they don't seem like they would hold a lot.
They're bigger than like some of the scale of like someone actually handling it. It's bigger than you think it is, but
for me, I just mean like how shallow they are. Like I feel like components would easily fall out of them.
Yeah.
Like they're bigger. Like one of their pictures shows a bottle of wine sitting on the coaster, and it's entirely on just the cork part. So they are they are larger than the base of a bottle of wine.
Yes.
If you needed a rough size reference,
depending on how big your bottles of wine are.
I mean, the relatively rough standard size of bottle of wine.
Yes.
Yes, there are weird bottles of wine, but most of them are a standard size.
Now we're whining.
And dining. The deeper bowls, I think, look a little bit more functional, but you would only, in theory, be able to fit half of them. Yeah. And even then, I'd probably only get them in the large, maybe the double bowl. Because once you get to the 4, it's like, okay, so this thing holds like 5 or 6 components in each slot. There's not many games I can think of where I need to hold 5 or 6 of 4 different components.
Yeah, it's not going to hold like Lords of Waterdeep level components.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I'm really curious what game these components are from, though, because they're very interesting meeples.
I don't know.
It looks like a dude holding a hammer upside down and like kind of resting on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Some of them, like, I really don't know what the tile with a dedicated center segment. I don't know what that's for. The way they show that too does not help me understand what that's for.
Yeah.
The 7 segment tile for controlling gameplay when collecting bonuses, that I could kind of see like, oh, I'm getting these 7 resources. As I get them, I'll put them in each of these little cubbies so that I make sure I got all of my resources, maybe.
Or I think I like how they're using the die. That you're like, I'm activating this die, and then this one, and then this one, and like you can sort of like follow a pattern if you need to. So,
yeah, definitely some interesting stuff here. I do like that it's all one solid kit. That seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the price is a lot.
Yeah.
Not cheap, but neat.
What wood stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The special like pre-order price is still available. The 130. You get any type of wood. Assembled includes 12 simple tiles, 2 bank tiles, 1 dice, 4 coasters. Or any other possible configuration of components at your choice, and the leather for free.
I mean, that's like if you're going to get it, that's a
real If you were gonna go in, that's because you could get the expensive wood and the leather and everything.
Also, look at all these like the people that are backing it, like others, like the person. There's 6 people backing the full set oak for 170, when they could get this you can get the oak for 130, and it's like. Really?
Oh, yeah, they clearly just did not.
Suckers is what we call them.
Yep. But so there's still 250 roughly available for that special price. So if you're interested in it,
if only we got that super special price of $100 or $99 to get everything. Yeah.
Was that like one that's already sold out? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yeah! I definitely would have gotten it if I'd seen it in time for that. Is it the cherry that's the almost black one? Because, damn, that looks good. Fuck.
No. Cherries, they have
It is cherry.
Wood.
Yeah, the cherry's the darkest one.
Yeah.
And they're
in the
side
one
by
image,
side
it looks
example.
almost black.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this might be something to keep in, like, remind you, because, like, there have definitely been, like, back when I backed the CMON stuff, like, when the beginning, like the early backer ones would go super quick, and then like just keep an eye, just because if occasionally they would come back up.
Yeah,
like
somebody drops out. Yeah,
this might be one of like, just keep an eye and see if the full set somebody leaves from that, because like you said, sort of good. Like $100 for any of these is a lot easier to swallow. So
yeah, huh. Yeah, it's interesting, like the little side-by-side, the cherry doesn't look as dark, but in that one image they have under the wood labels, like the cherry looks like black. It looks dark. So
I
don't
see
know.
what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, because that looks awesome. I want that.
Yeah.
I would definitely spend $130 for that.
But it's not.
Or $120 for that.
That's not one of the 4 choices they list on here, so.
Doesn't seem to be.
Well,
A nice mahogany. But yeah, so that's Gamer's Chest, the one and only Kickstarter for this week.
Yep.
Yeah. So that moves us over to some listener feedback, where we have just one comment over on YouTube from episode 212. Pick it up. Paulo says, "Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. Vindication is actually pretty cool." So
there's so many mixed messages.
Apparently we need to just randomly talk shit on very popular Kickstarters more often because it brings in all of the
feedback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, Frosthaven.
Yeah. This game's good. This game sucks. You guys suck. Everything, yeah.
But yeah, if you would like to get a hold of us in listener feedback, there are a few different ways to do so. You can send us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
We have Instagram and Facebook, both /MHGameGuys. Our website, milehighgameguys.com, or alternatively, for more up-to-date information, punchboardmedia.com, and then find our section on there. Has links in the show notes to things like Slack channel, BGG Guild number 2731, and our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MHGameGuys. So yeah, lots of different ways to get in touch with us. As always, we would like to take a little bit of time to thank our awesome sponsors, Gray Fox Games. Their latest Kickstarter campaign trail is still available for pre-order over on their website, grayfoxgames.com. Jeff, do you have a prepared statement?
Of course. Gray Fox Games, quality games cleverly crafted. Also, if you had been at my place back then, maybe you wouldn't have made the same mistakes I did. Ever since the day I killed the boss with my own hands, I was already dead.
Indeed. Already dead. That's heartwarming, Jeff. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
But yeah. Also, huge thanks to everyone who's still listening. Hope everyone has had a very happy holiday season. Enjoy your new year, and hopefully maybe 2021 will be better than 2020 was. We will see. Also, because I meant to mention this earlier in the episode, because I don't know how many people listen this late in it, we will be taking a week off next week. It is planned. This is planned and announced. It's not just us being lazy. I am going to be doing an avalanche safety course up in the mountains Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And Jeff and Zach are both unavailable, I think, over the weekend. So there just really was not a time when we could even move recording to make it work. So we're just going to take a post-holiday week off to start 2021 on the same note of 2020 for us, of just random weeks off. And then we'll be back after that with new episodes, and I'll have lots of snowboarding updates and things to fill up Banter.
And we can talk about all the games that came out in 2020 that we played.
Yes, we'll do some kind of a look back / look forward / something end of year episode. So there you go. That's the episode. Thanks everybody for listening. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm Bug Jeff.
Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.